Hi, welcome back to my rug cooking talk show. My name is Annette and I've been a rug cooker for over 20 years, and I decided to do a show for us solo rug cookers out there who were never able to either get to a class or are self-taught or love being alone but just want to have a little company while you're rug cooking, or maybe you're a new rug cooker and you are just excited to learn some new things or the basics, and so that's what these videos are all about. I just share what I do as a rug cooker. So I'm not so much a teacher as someone who's just sharing my love of rug cooking with you, because I want everybody to know that I think they should develop their own style of rug cooking, and to me there's just not too many things wrong that you can do except for the basic technique, which is to hook your loops and make sure they're touching. That's it, so we don't see any of that funny looking backing. Okay, so for those of you who aren't new, welcome back. And I know I haven't been doing as many videos as I normally do, but I've just been so busy, and I'm trying. So, but I've been doing a lot of things, new things. So what I want to do right now is I'm going to take off my new Happy Rug, and I call it the Happy Rug because it is just so, it's very cheerful to look at. So I'm going to take it off so I can show you where we're at. I've been posting the progress of the mats that I've been working on my blog, http://letshook.wordpress.com. So if you want to see still videos of them, you can go there. And I mean still pics, I'm sorry, because the videos don't really show a good, you know, if you want to study something or really look at it or see technique, you really can't on a video as much. So I try to hold it up to give you an idea, but I'm just going to quickly show you. I will post a pic on there so you could see, but it's kind of hard because it's been on the frame, so it's kind of got a little curve to the bottom of it. But as you could see, it's very, very full of lots of color. And I'm just enjoying working on that a lot. Something different. You know, I think when you do the same rug, you know, I love primitives. You know, that's something I really always enjoy doing. I love the look of an old rug. It's you know, my home decor is country and a little antique-y and a little, you know, this and that. But so I really enjoy that look. You know what? I'm going to move this up a little so I can get to this corner, finally finish it. I got a little corner here that needs some help, so I'm going to go ahead and just pop it up there, see if we could get that done. So yeah, I always liked the primitives. I just like that look. I love the colors, the warm colors, the cozy, you know, autumn, fall, faded colors of, you know, that it's been old and used, and I love that. So, but every now and then it really is so much fun to explore color in a rug and just, you know, do it. Just hook with those pretty colors. I kind of like to think it's like when you get that new box of crayons and you open it up and all those new bright colors are there, as opposed to the, you know, standard 16 that you used to have in the little package. And then all of a sudden you've got all these new colors and it's like, wow, I just want to color something with them, you know. So you go at it and enjoy that. It's the same thing with hooking when you come across really beautiful colored wools and fabric. I guess it's even the same thing for quilters out there. Okay, so we're tightening up that. There you go. So for those of you who might just be catching this one video, not from the beginning, I use an Anderson frame, and you can get those online. Still, I think very reasonable for the stand. It swivels. I'm going to move back so you can kind of see what's going on here. It's very lightweight, you know. I'm holding this with one hand, and it swivels really easily. You can, you know, there's a little bolt, and you can tighten it right over here if you want. He labels each one, and he marks the number of which one it is. And mine is number 254. So he's done quite a few of that particular frame, and he does a bigger one and some other things. So, you know, if you want to look him up, just Google Anderson rug cooking frames, and his contact information will come up for you. So there you go. So I completed the little mat that I was working on. Let me grab that. Okay. So here we go. I don't know if you could see, there's a little, like a little zigzaggy thing going across right there. Very, very, you know, it's hardly noticeable, but I did it for the top. And it's supposed to be a primitive, so means, you know, very naive in design, and you usually use a wide cut, and it was fun. This was fun because, you know what, like I said, again, not too much to think about, and it was just a lot of fun to hook it. And I did it in the twill tape, and there's my little label in the back so you could see. And like I said, oh, got to write the date on that. I think everybody should label their stuff. You know, we're obviously not going to be here forever to, oh, here it is. And I use this. It is the Sharpie for laundry. So, you know, if it does ever get wet or something, a drink spills on it. Okay, and I just put the date that of the year it's completed. So, there you go. 2015 right on my little guy, and there you go. So he's done, and he was fun, so I also have another, gonna throw it out there to you. I work with this linen here. This is a very, very soft linen that I work with. It's like a grayish, almost, they call it, Michelle calls it taupe, and it is so, so soft. And this is what I like to work with the wider cuts. And some people prefer a stiffer, just a slightly stiffer, and so that would be from Sear Sport. They have a slightly stiffer one, and it doesn't move as much. And some people really like that, especially if you're using a hoop and stuff like that. That would work well with that. But this one today that I'm going to share with you, I just repurchased 5 yards from Michelle Miccarelli in New Haven, Connecticut. She's not far from me. And the funny story is I contacted somebody in California because when I was looking for this very soft linen, she advertised on iloverughooking.com. She advertised that she had this really nice linen, but when I spoke to her, she says, no, I think the rug linen backing that you're looking for is from Michelle Miccarelli, so try her. And lo and behold, Michelle Miccarelli is in Connecticut, so she's going to hook me up with 5 yards, and 5 yards was a really good price at $23 a yard. So I just want to share that with you. So look her up, Michelle Miccarelli, and she also did a book, and I don't know if I reviewed it, but I'm going to get it out of the library again. And for those of you who are love to find out about new rug hooking books, it's not an old book, but it's not like didn't come out like yesterday. So just so you know, I think maybe over the past year or two or a couple of years. It's called Barely Hooked, and you will love it. I've seen it, I have read it, and I will take it out again from my library and share it with you. She said absolutely. I spoke to Michelle, and she says go ahead and share. So I'm going to do that. And for those of you who are in the Connecticut area or like to travel, Michelle is doing an event, I believe, a workshop in March to May, one of those months. I'm not sure. I will get the actual details and let you know, and I'll even post it on my blog. So for those of you looking for something different, or you're interested in being with Michelle and seeing her lovely studio, that's something. And I might even do a field trip over there. She's welcomed me with open arms, so I'm very excited about that I can go and even record and do a little show from there. So I kind of like doing that, breaks it up for us. So go ahead and grab your cup of coffee. I just chatted away for probably 5 minutes straight there. So grab a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, something cold, something warm, whatever your climate is over there, and get comfortable. And this is just all about rug hooking and spending, you know, maybe 20, 30 minutes of alone time rug hooking and working on your rug. And just enjoying that quiet time, that meditative rhythm to hooking is it's so great. The only thing that's bad about rug hooking is that once you start, you don't want to stop. And you have to, and it becomes really difficult. So I remember just telling my kids, 5 more minutes, oh, I'll be up in 5 more minutes, and they want dinner. And it was just, yeah, so it's fun, and you get into it, and that's what it's meant to do. It de-stresses you. It's very good. It's very good for us. I have my green Genmecha tea, and that is really good. It's been cold. Yesterday morning was 0. Getting up and getting in the car was 0. So yeah, it's been cold. So a nice warm cup of tea or a hot cocoa or a hot cup of coffee always feels really good in the morning when you rug hook. So, and for those of you who are just tuning in, we're in my basement studio, so you know where I'm located. I used to be located up in the dining room, and it was not a studio, it was the dining room table. And everything that I did had to come back down here. We had a huge water problem down here, and so we have since fixed that, and now I have my studio in the basement, and it's great to have everything here. And I highly recommend, if you have even a small little corner of your home to store all your stuff so it's not all over, is a great, that's what I was doing, and that helped a lot too. Where there's a will, there's a way. You're going to rug hook, you don't need a studio. Absolutely not. I rug hooked for over 20 years in the family room, on the couch, out in the porch, in the backyard. You can hook anywhere. You just need your little frame and you're hooked and you're good to go. Okay, so I got my hands on this book, and I contacted the author, and it was compiled. He's really not the author of the book, but he compiled it and edited it and put it together. So to me, he did the book. But it's called Daily Rituals. I'm just going to have a cup. A little sip of my cup of tea. It's called Daily Rituals, How Artists Work. Okay, so there's the cover. Okay. I'm not allowed to show anything on the inside because they did not allow that part. But what I will tell you is, I will just read a few of the names of the artists and what the book is about. Okay, it's a short, as you can see, it's a small little book. And there's probably well over 100 artists that compile the book. And he writes, Mason writes a really nice introduction that I enjoyed a lot. So, Mason, when you watch this, thank you for that fun introduction. I enjoyed it. And it starts out, Daily Rituals, it starts out with W.H. Auden from 1907 to 1973. And these are all either authors, writers, artists, anybody who created something even up into the present. Some of them might still be alive. That could be true. I'm not sure. I didn't get through all of them, but a lot of them are still alive, and some are dead. And they're each about, I'm going to say, maybe a page. So you read through them very quickly. Jane Austen's in here, and it says Jane Austen never lived alone. And so what it does, each little paragraph or page describes the rituals of this particular artist. And when I say artist, I don't mean someone who just paints. I mean an artist in whatever creative form this person is accomplished in. And like I said, there's writers, composers, painters, choreographers, playwrights, poets, philosophers, sculptors, filmmakers, and scientists, and how they create. And it's their daily ritual. It's very interesting. Like I said, it's only a couple of paragraphs for each of the artists, but it gives you this really cool little peek into what their ritual was, whether they woke up and had dry toast for breakfast and then worked for 6 hours straight. Some work with people around, some worked without people, who they paired up with. Some of the artists in here are connected to other artists, and you find that little information out. So what they wore, their habits, their daily living habits. I believe Beethoven's in here, and I'll read a few of the names that you'll see so you can get an idea of who's in here. Okay, so we have Simone de Beauvoir, Thomas Wolfe, Federico Fellini, Ingmar Bergman, Soren Kierkegaard, Ludwig van Beethoven, Henry Matisse, Carl Jung, Sigmund Freud, Karl Marx, Toulouse-Lautrec, Arthur Miller, Jane Austen, let's see, Haruki Murakami, Joyce Carol Oates, I'm just trying to give you Franz Kafka, James Joyce, Marcel Proust, Agatha Christie, T.S. Eliot, Pablo Picasso. Let's see who else is in here. Charles Dickens, Herman Melville, Nathaniel Hawthorne, Leo Tolstoy, Mark Twain, Alexander Graham Bell, Vincent van Gogh. I'm only up to page, I mean, there's so many more. Isaac Asimov, Willa Cather, George Orwell. If I'm pronouncing any of these incorrectly, I apologize. Gerhard Richter. Gerhard Richter, I just looked at that. Okay, so Gerhard Richter has a movie out. He's a painter, and he does very abstract painting, and he uses very large, like wall-like canvases, and he goes up on a ladder, and he smears this paint with a scraper. He has it all set up. There's a great movie on Netflix on Gerhard Richter. You would really enjoy it. I did. It just, again, it gives you a peek into how they create the finished product. And lots of times we don't see that. We just see the finished product, whether it's a book or a poem or a story or a movie or a sculpture. And we don't really appreciate, I think, the full scope of that finished creation without actually knowing the work that went into it, the sentiment, the emotions, the tenseness, the anger. It could be any of those that produced a work of art. Not everybody produces happy little things. A lot of art comes from pain and sadness and emotions, and so it's interesting to see what actually transpired before the final creation is exposed to us. And so that being said, I finished a really great movie, a little edgy, not for children, Frida, about the artist Frida Kahlo from Mexico. And that was a great movie. Again, it just gives you an idea of what painters, artists in general, create out of their pain, out of their sadness, out of their emotions, all good, you know. And so I recommend Frida. I recommend Gerhard Richter is a documentary, very safe, all ages. Frida, absolutely not. Yeah, do not show that one to the kiddies. So that being said, Mason Curry is the editor, and I'm going to say, you know, put the book together. Mason Curry. I'll show that one last time so you can get a look at it. A great, fun book. You can get it off of Amazon, and you can read this every night. It's a great little bedtime ritual book. Myself, I like to read at night, and you will enjoy it because I'm just reading about what these artists, their little peek into their life, and they're just amazingly weird. That's all I can say. It makes me feel really good about all the little strange things that go on when I hear about other artists and my little rituals, but it's all very important. So it helps for these people to create what they've created, and we all have our own little way of doing that. So that being said, rug hookers out there, spin, rotate, do whatever you need to do to get your craft done. There's no hard and fast rule that you need to hook in all directions or only hook in one direction. Do what makes you happy, and you will be a happy creator. Because most of the people in this book, I realized, they break all those rules, you know, and they make their own rules. And so they have their own set of rules that they struggle with, because we all do that. Oh, I can only do this, or I only like to do this, you know. So, you know, that being said, everybody has their own little way of rug hooking. So I highly recommend Daily Rituals to you and how artists work. I think you will really enjoy that. It spans the scope of all artists in all fields, from written to, you know, fine arts to sculpture, and I really think you'll enjoy it. So like I said, I'm just finishing up on my happy rug. I have very little left to do. And another thing I like about this backing that I'm working on, and I might have shared this in another video, not sure, but it's very light in color, and I love the way you can draw on it. You can draw your design on it very easily, and it hooks up very easily. And I'm using not a primitive hook. This doesn't have a little marking on it. It's probably for like a 6 cut, I would say, and I'm using probably like a 7 to 8 cut here, and it pulls it up so nicely. But I did order another hook just to try it out, because I've heard of all these things about hooks, and I was struggling on that last linen. I don't know, if there was a better way to hook with it, because I like to be able to hook on anything, but it doesn't always work out that way. So I had heard about the Miller hook, and I'm giving that a try to see also, because I just, again, I like working with different hooks, and I wasn't going to buy anything new this year, but that's a piece of equipment, and that's a necessity. But anyway, so that being said, it's coming in. I ordered the primitive size, so I guess it's a little larger. It's a different shape hook altogether, and I think I was just very curious about it, like, how does this work? And so Michelle Miccarelli also said she uses them and she sells them. And her prices are very good. So if I were you and you're looking for a hook, look up Michelle Miccarelli. She's got them also. And you could also look them up online. They're available from other sources too, and you can see what they look like. But I like using different hooks because it takes off the stress of my hand of using, the same one. So I went from my Moshimer to this one, and this is more like a pencil style. And it's just to change up how I hook, so I don't overuse any muscles. But if you find you have one favorite hook, like I love my Moshimer, and it's like my go-to hook, don't feel you have to change it. I'm just making a suggestion for myself. And yeah, just sharing what I do, and hoping it can help others. I got a strip way stuck in there. Okay, that's not good. Okay, so again, I just want to thank you for joining me and allowing me to sit and chat with you while you rug hook away and have a cup of something nice. It is a really nice time to just spend with your rug hooking, and I have a little DVD player in the corner here, and I even throw that on to watch movies or documentaries as I'm hooking. And again, it's my little quiet time. I love it. I cherish it, and I think everybody deserves to have a little quiet time in their day if they can carve out just a little bit of space and time for themselves. It just really releases any stress, and you're good to go for the rest of the day, or at least end up in bed really nice and relaxed. So there you go. So again, daily rituals. You will absolutely love this. I'm finding out all the strangest things about these composers and artists, and it's so much fun. It's a fun read. So again, I want to thank you for joining me. For those who are new to coming to this show and finding me on YouTube, welcome. If you like the show, give me a like, and if you don't like the show, well, drop me a comment and tell me what you don't like about it, and maybe I can try to help you out with that. If the sound is a little weird right now, my furnace kicked on, so I'm talking a little louder for you. But I want to wish you some happy hooking. Stay well, and we'll see each other soon. Bye now.